If you're on your calisthenics journey and you make these mistakes, then you're doomed, okay? You're finished. So without waiting around and getting straight into it, let's move into the 7 calisthenics mistakes you could be making that are absolutely destroying your strength gains. All right, so the first reason that you're never gonna become an elite calisthenics athlete and you're never gonna get super strong like the athletes that you see on social media, maybe even myself, is because you're doing too much volume and you're doing way too many reps. If you do too much volume in the week and you do too many reps on exercises, then first of all, you're gonna be tired the next week, and so it's pretty much a write-off the next week. And so, yeah, okay, you might have had a crazy week of workouts, but what's the point if you can't be consistent and you can't work on things like your form the next week because you don't have the energy to? And the second reason why this is bad is because if you do too many reps, then you're just gonna tire yourself out in the workout, which means that you won't be able to do the other exercises that you set out to do. So let's say that you start off the workout with push-ups and you do like 100 reps. How do you expect to be able to put maximum effort, or at least a good amount of effort and energy, into something like planche training when you've already exhausted your pushing strength for the day? It's just stupid, and you need to relax on the amount of reps you do. I know some of you guys are trying to do like 100 reps a day because you're trying to get into fitness and you're trying to stay motivated, and that's okay for beginners and people that are trying to do challenges. That's fine, but I wouldn't do it to train seriously, and I wouldn't do it to try and gain maximum strength. It's just stupid. If you want actual strength gains, stick to around 3 to 5 reps if you're working more on strength, and stick to around 6 to 15 reps if you're working more on hypertrophy. Obviously, this is going to range differently depending on different people and depending on the exercise, the skill, or the movement you're doing, but in a general sense, that's what you should be focusing on if strength is your aim. The second mistake you're making is that you're not doing skill training first. You should not leave your skill training until last, and you should not be trying to do loads of different exercises before you do your skill training, because number one, you're gonna tire yourself out before the skill training, meaning you can't put in the energy needed. It's similar to doing too many reps. However, just reorganizing your workout to put skill training first is going to make all the difference in your training. You're going to have more energy output to be able to exert more energy into that skill, and therefore the form's going to be better, the technique's going to be better, you're going to be able to clean up any issues regarding the technique or the form, and therefore you're going to progress a lot faster. So if you guys feel like you're doing something wrong, then the Calisthenians Academy is always open for new members, and I'll leave the link in the description for that. Third mistake you're making is that you're not getting in enough rest. You're probably trying to go to the gym, or you're trying to work out at home, wherever you're working out, or at the park, and you're going every single day, or you're doing like 3, 4, 5 days in a row, or 7 days in a row, some of you nutcases, and you're expecting to make substantial strength progress? Bruh. It's not gonna happen, bros, okay? It's not going to happen. You need to make sure that you have at least 1 rest day a week. That is my rule of thumb, okay? That's the thing that I tell all my students, all my clients. You need at least 1 rest day a week. So there's no point working out every single day. You're not gonna be able to recover properly. And quite frankly, you're gonna be tired during the whole day. You're probably not gonna be in the best of moods. And so make sure you get that rest in. Make sure you get at least 7 hours sleep every single night. Of course, I know some of you guys might have crazy work schedules or even school schedules, and so you might only get like 5 hours of sleep, whatever, but do whatever you can to sleep. I normally find that if I'm trying to rest and trying to shut off my mind, I'll read a few pages of a book or even a few chapters of a book to try and make me even more tired before I go to sleep. Turn off the phone, take your zinc and magnesium or whatever you take to try and get that deep sleep in and rest. Next mistake you're making is that you're neglecting your protein. If you're not having enough protein in your diet, you will not repair that muscle, and especially not quickly. You need to make sure that you have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That is going to be the most effective for you. You might be thinking, well, what if I don't have that one day? What if one day I have like a little bit less, like 10 grams less, 20 grams left? Of course, if you have a little bit less than usual one day or 2 days as a one-off, it's not gonna make a massive difference. Like, you're not gonna lose all your gains. Sometimes you'll even have the strength to do a workout. But again, as a general rule of thumb and as something that you should follow if you wanna maximize your strength gains and make sure that you can actually progress fast and to a good level and achieve your goals quicker, make sure your protein is high, okay? That's all you need to do. And if you guys are also struggling with your calories, then we'll get into that on the next point, which is you're eating too much, bro. You're eating way too much. Stop eating the whole fridge. You don't need to eat that much, okay? Number one, first of all, actually, you're eating too much, which means that you're going to be heavier, which makes calisthenics skills harder automatically, and any strength things that you do in calisthenics harder. Because remember, we're using our body weight. So if we put on a little bit more weight in the man boob area, push-ups are going to be harder, okay? That's logical, it makes sense. So we want to have the lowest body fat percentage possible to be able to achieve these skills. Of course, not everyone is going to perform at the same level, of body fat percentage, but just make sure you're at a low percentage of body fat. I'd say at least like 14% at the absolute max. Of course, you guys might be thinking that is not low at all, but you know, I'm trying to cater to every single person watching this video. So the lower you are in body fat, the easier calisthenic skills are going to be. And I've also got another point in this section as well. Do not eat a lot, especially a lot, if anything, before you go to the gym. Wait at least 1 hour before you go to the gym or before you even work out, because if you don't wait an hour, that food's not going to digest and you're probably going to throw up at the gym. With calisthenics, you're moving your body around constantly and a lot. And so you need to make sure that you haven't eaten so much, because your stomach's going to be full, it's not going to thank you for it. And especially if you're doing things like handstands and you're upside down a lot, yeah, it's probably going to come out the wrong end. A lot of people I've seen in the fitness industry like to have like a Rice Krispies cereal bar or something like that, and it's because it gives you a little bit of a pump, but it could literally be any carbohydrate. I would recommend a little snack, like maybe even like a little protein bar, something like that, or even a banana as well. Normally bananas are so good because they can give you way more energy than you actually think is possible. I believe 2 bananas, if I'm not mistaken, can give you enough energy for like an hour and a half or at least an hour of intense workout. So use that tip wisely. And the 7th mistake you're making, the final one, the final piece of the puzzle, is that you do not have a plan and you keep circling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you fail again and again. I want to see you guys succeed, okay? I want to see you guys reach high levels in calisthenics. If you're watching this, then the chances are you're passionate about calisthenics, or you at least have an interest in it. So listen the fuck up. Your plan does not have to be at an elite calisthenics athlete level, especially if you're a beginner or you're at the intermediate level, okay? It doesn't have to be a crazy, detailed, hard plan. As long as you're making progress every single week, then your plan is good. As I've said in this whole video, make sure that your plan has at least 1 rest day a week minimum, okay? You can even have 2 or 3 and you'll still make good progress. Make sure that your plan focuses on skill training first if calisthenics is what you want to improve on. If your goal is to work more on hypertrophy or improve your endurance, then by all means, do that first, do your skill training last. But just know that you will not get stronger in your skills, or you won't get stronger overall really, if you don't put your skill training and your strength training first. And also make sure that you only focus on 1 to 2 skills at a time, especially if you're a beginner. For God's sake, guys, every single apologies if I used the Lord's name in vain there. I didn't mean to do that, okay? Didn't mean to disrespect anyone, so if you're offended by that, I apologize. Please just don't do more than 2 skills at a time, because you're not gonna be able to put in maximum energy, focus, and you're not gonna be able to like perfect and like master that skill, okay? You're not going to be able to do it. And ideally, you want like a chest and leg skill to focus on at one time, a chest and back skill, or something like that, where you're focusing on 2 different muscle groups. One skill is one muscle group, the other skill is another muscle group. So ones that I would recommend, for instance, could be the back lever, and you could focus on the frog stand. Done. Calisthenics does not have to be something where it has to be super strict. Of course, as I said, other things are highly recommended, and I guess you could say are strict, the rest of the points in this video. But I'm just telling you guys about the mistakes a lot of people make. Anyway, guys, hopefully you learned something in this video and that you don't make any of these mistakes, because if I see you guys making this mistake, I will find you and I will planch on you. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy it, make sure to like. If you want more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment and also subscribe for more videos about calisthenics and about everything to do with me. Peace.